We welcome back to the show the ranking member of House Oversight, Congressman James Comer. It's great to see you, sir. So you've been leading the probes into Hunter Biden and the Biden family selling access overseas into the U.S. government and using the Joe Biden's name. What's the latest news on this?
Well, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Jim Jordan and I are going to present to the Washington, D.C. press corps everything we found thus far that would implicate Hunter Biden in wrongdoing. And I think the list is going to be breathtaking for the mainstream media because they haven't been watching your show, Liz. They haven't been watching Fox News. They don't read conservative publications. They honestly believe that Hunter Biden's just a drug addict that's had bad luck and the Republicans are picking on him. They don't know the extent to the influence peddling and national security risk that he poses. We're going to present our findings in a 30-page summary, and then I'm going to be very clear about where we're moving forward from where we are now with respect to getting those bank records, those bank violations, and make it very clear that this is now an investigation of President Biden.
So the question is, why is it an investigation of President Biden now? Do you have Biden family bank records?
Well, we have enough bank records now to know, along with our emails and text messages, that Joe Biden not only knew about Hunter's shady business dealings where he was influence peddling with our adversaries, he was also a part of that. And we're going to go into great detail about that tomorrow. We have emails that show Hunter Biden needed an extra key made for Joe Biden in an office funded by China for a business that their sole focus was to help China get their foot in the door on the American natural gas industry.
Yeah.
We're also going to show evidence where some of these people that Joe Biden said he never met with Hunter with respect to Burisma and other shady entities in our foreign countries that no one would do business with, that he has pictures with them, that he has text messages and emails with them. And it's going to show that Joe Biden lied to the American people about not having any knowledge of Hunter Biden's business dealings. And what we need to know now in a formal investigation starting in January when we have the gavel is this White House compromised by Joe Biden's influence peddling?
And the question has been, is U.S. national security compromised? Hunter Biden showed up in public for the first time in a long time on Twitter to talk about his art and his things like his interest in crypto. The interview went south. We're going to listen to this. One of the questioners was booted out for asking Hunter Biden about shady donations to the Democrats in the midterms from that FTX crypto exchange, which collapsed in an alleged Enron-style fraud. Let's listen to this. Watch.
Mainly everything that I know about the NFT world is through what he's shown me, the incredible things that he and Mike are doing as it relates to CryptoSource, which is really, really cool. Really cool.
The former CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman, was the second largest donor to Democrats this cycle. So, Hunter, I was wondering if you had any insights to what was going on there.
They just jumped off now. So that gives you an idea of how behind the scenes that was tough. So it seems there's a lot of requirements we had to meet. That was so stressful, Chet. That was so stressful, man.
From one of the so-called crypto stores, Congressman. So Hunter Biden, they just got off the interview, right? So now he's talking about NFTs and crypto. So, the thing is, we need to ask you this. When it comes to the Hunter Biden story and the Biden family selling access, doing deals in Russia, in China, in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan, was there any vetting of the companies and the people they were doing business with? Because we're finding these companies quickly collapsed after the deals fell apart.
You're exactly right. Every company has collapsed. Even the Chinese energy company is now referred to as China's version of Enron. Everything Hunter Biden touches collapses.
But do we know who these people were who they were doing business with and whether it compromised U.S. national security?
Yeah, I fear it did. And I think that we have enough evidence to prove to the press corps that we need to move forward, and this needs to be a priority for the Republican majority from an oversight committee standpoint.
Okay, got it. Congressman Comer, we'll stay on the story. We're going to cover it tomorrow. Thanks for bringing it to us, bringing news to us. We'll be on the story again tomorrow.